I could speak to, community engagement. The whole point of it is to engage with the community, right? So before we were able to freely just have conversations in the street or go to community meetings or have events all the time. And now a lot of partners are still working from home or not actually out, doing face-to-face outreach yet. A lot of things are virtual now. So we have workshops, on Zoom. We have events on Zoom. But we've done events to support the community because not everybody is technologically savvy or have a computer or have, a smartphone to be able to get the resources that they need. So if we do decide to do an event, we make sure we social distance and that we have hand sanitizer and masks and, we're abiding by, what we're supposed to do for other people and for ourselves regarding our safety.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I know a couple episodes back, I asked one of the, I would say he's a community leader, not an official or anything like that, but he does a lot for the community. And I think he was there for that last resource event. But he was saying, I was asking, like, do you guys have to get any permits or anything like that? And he goes, no, we kind of just do it and nobody's going to really stop us because honestly, nobody wants to stop something positive going on. Right. But being a part of a company and having liability and things like that, do you have to, like, what's the process of following those mandates that are put in place, especially during now?
Sure. So we, of course, if we need like a permit or something, then we'll do that. But we make sure that we do events where we don't, if we have to do something that way, of course we follow it. But for most of the
you can work your way around it.
Yeah, we don't need to. We make sure that we are safe and that we do social distance and we abide by the health guidelines. So, but there's still work to be done. So that's what we're gonna do.
Nice. That's a lot. Like I think about all the planning that is involved with. I mean, I'm always with the Block is Back, but they do all the work. I do my thing here, but it's just all that planning. And then when you have an organization this big and just having all those people, the resource fair it's really good. I mean, this podcast is all about community, all about people giving back. And that's one of the main reasons why I asked to have you on the show. Sure. And mother of 5, a wife, you coordinator, you're doing all these things. It's just a lot to balance. What's one of the, if there's anything, what's one thing that you wanted to talk about that we didn't really cover, or did we already cover everything?
I think if I could just reiterate the importance of, looking out for other people, advocating for others, helping other people, just spreading kindness, just being there. If you can donate, right? People think also donating to organizations or nonprofits, you have to donate hundreds of dollars, even if it's $5, $2, whatever have you.
It adds up.
Yeah. If you have some empty time in your schedule, think about going to a food pantry or linking up with an organization to volunteer for their efforts. Just help your neighbor. It's just do, like I said before, do the best you can until you know better, and then when you do know better, to do better and to do more. I think that right now, people are in a panic, right? People don't know what to say or what to do all the time. But I think that we have a responsibility and really an obligation to each other to give back and just to spread kindness and education and invest in others.
Yeah, well said. I always say I like that advice that you gave. Go into a food pantry, go volunteer, donate, because a lot of times I always say this, people don't really care about things that are going on until it directly affects them. So the minute it hurts them or the minute it hurts their pockets, they're like, oh, now this is a problem. So if you go out and volunteer and donate, you don't have to wait for it to be a problem for you. You can see by being a part of the solution.
Yeah. Let's be proactive instead of reactive. I know. I mean, just like you were saying before, I think this is a wonderful platform to highlight great things that are going on, because it's not always as entertaining as, the killings and the drama and, all of that kind of stuff. But we have to also highlight our small victories or the simple things, because they're big. They make big change. They're impactful.
I always talk about, especially on the internet, everybody's on social media, everybody's scrolling through whatever it is. And like you said, the killings, the drama, the terrible things are always eye grabbing. So even with algorithms on Facebook and stuff, like nothing positive is, well, I won't say nothing, but most of the positive things are very small. Or they're like a dog. I always use this example. A dog saved the squirrel from drowning in a pool. And it's like, that's cool, but it's not really solving any of the problems. And a lot of times when I have guests on the show, we talk about problems, and we talk about a lot of problems and the things that are going on in today's society. But I always try to bring it back and come up with some solutions.
Sure.
So just to wrap it up, we're getting to the end of the podcast. I always ask my guests, I know you, obviously, you're being a part of a lot of solutions and a lot of families, being an impact in the lives of, kids to grow up and be something. Besides that, what's another huge problem that you see in today's society that you might come up with a solution, if you have a solution? Or if you ever thought about it, you're watching the news, you're just like, or you didn't know that this is terrible, I didn't know about that, or something like that, and you come up with some solutions.
I think that we should constantly be educating ourselves. I think that the news is very narrow-minded, right? They focus on certain things, but there's a lot going on. And it doesn't have to be, tragedies. If you just find out what's going on in your community, I think that a lot of people are, they want instant gratification for anything and everything, right? But sometimes you need to really put in work, and then at the end of the day, you will reap the benefits of that. To really invest in people and things around you. I think that that's something that I try to do every day. I'm not an expert by any means in any or a lot of things, right? But I do want to educate myself constantly, so I'm an appropriate advocate for people that need it.
I like that. A lot of people think you need to take a sledgehammer and tackle this huge problem at a time, but I forget who the guy is. He's like a philosopher, but he always says, like, for people who are out there protesting or trying to make huge change, he always says, "Did you make your bed? Did you clean your room?" It's like those small things that you can actually be a part of. That's what you need to take care of first. You need to, with a fine-tooth comb, right. For lack of a better term, take things a little bit at a time. Like you said, educate yourself. The more you educate yourself, the more you're aware of what needs to. Once you're aware of the problem, you can come up with solutions. Sure. And instead of like tackling, we need to get money out of politics, or we need to end homelessness, it's like, okay, what are you doing right now?
And baby steps matter. Little things matter. Little things add up. And progress is progress. You give up when you stop, and you have to just keep going.
Yeah. I always say the smallest drop in a bucket or something can make the biggest ripple effects, and just one person can change somebody's whole life, and that's exactly what you're doing. So I appreciate you coming on the podcast today, for sharing. If you want to get out to the listeners where they can find you, where they can find Turning Points, everything like that.
So Turning Points for Children, we're on social media, but my office specifically is Cool with 3, but turningpointsforchildren.org. You can learn more about Turning Points and what we do. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. What's Cool with 3? What is that?
Cool with 3. So we're the community umbrella agency. So
that's
on
right. Cool.
Instagram, it's TP, the number 4C, CUA, the number 3. But then you get to see our upcoming events. We take a lot of pictures in the community, so our team pictures are on there. So if you want to see what we've done or what we have upcoming,
cool. I'll put that all in the show notes.
Great.
Thank you again, Nicole. It was a pleasure. This was awesome. This is a lot different pace than I'm used to. Well, thank you.
Thanks.
And that is it for our show this week, folks. You heard Nicole. We need to spread kindness, get into our communities, and put ourselves in those positions to see the problems so we can be a part of the solution and ultimately make the world a better place. I preach it all the time, week in and week out, so nothing's changed. If you'd like to get in contact with Nicole or her team, or just to see how the operation works and what it's about, check out the show notes. I'll provide in the description of this episode. It'll have all the links for Turning Points, as well as whatever upcoming events that they might have. And since we mentioned being a part of the solution, you can also check out how to help donate and be a part of the solution for the Block is Back end of the year, John. While you're there, give the podcast a review and a rating. And if you want to find out how you can follow us or just want to get in contact with the podcast itself, check out Facebook and Instagram at Limelight Highlight. Our Twitter handle is LL_highlight, or you can email me at limelighthhighlight@gmail.com. I always respond, so be sure to reach out. And while you're there, hey, if you want to support the podcast, subscribe and share it. Just share it with somebody who you think could use pick me up for the rest of the week or whenever. We drop every Tuesday, so tune in next week. I'll be joined by TJ from Love Money Clothing, where he shares his incredible journey from just squatting in a home to helping hundreds of businesses get the ball rolling and getting set up. So until next time, be humble, be helpful, pay it forward, and be the best you. Thanks for listening. I'll see y'all next week.